Welcome to CCN Midday News. I am your host, Captivating Christian, and here are some of your top stories for today, April 23rd. Trump disagrees strongly with Georgia's plan to reopen. Atlanta's mayor says Georgia's governor reopening the state will be deadly. Poor coronavirus response leaves U.S. on the course towards another Great Depression. Russian planes are testing U.S. defenses for weakness, U.S. generals warn. Ousted vaccine experts battle with the Trump team over its abrupt dismissal. Ohio begins mass testing incarcerated people for COVID-19. The results paint a bleak picture for the U.S. prison system. Georgia Democrat lawmaker resigns amidst backlash after Trump's endorsement. Let's get to the news. President Donald Trump said on Wednesday that he disagreed strongly with the decision by Georgia's Republican governor to reopen salons, gyms, and other non-essential businesses later this week, saying that it's just too soon. Trump's comment at the daily White House briefing marking an abrupt shift in tone. Just last week, however, the president urged his supporters on Twitter to protest against the statewide closure of 3 Democratic-led states. At the same time that mostly Republican governors like Brian Kemp were talking steps to lift the stay-at-home restrictions. Kemp announced early this week that as of Friday, effective medical procedures could resume in Georgia, and barbershops, nail salons, and gyms could reopen with restrictions limited in restaurant dining schedules to resume on Monday. Atlanta's Mayor Keisha Lantz Bottoms on Wednesday expressed her disagreement with Georgia's Mayor Brian Kemp over the decision to reopen the state, claiming that it would be deadly for many people in her community. It concerns me deeply that we are still seeing an upward trend in our state and we are rushing to reopen businesses. What I've said is I hope that the governor is right and I'm wrong, because if he's wrong, more people will die, Bottoms stated. Kemp announced his plans Monday to reopen Georgia's economy before the end of the week, saying that many businesses that have closed to mitigate the spread of the coronavirus could reopen as early as Friday. The timetable would allow gyms, hair salons, bowling alleys, and tattoo parlors to reopen, as long as the owners follow strict social distancing and hygiene requirements. Effective medical procedures could also resume by Monday. Movie theaters may resume selling tickets, and restaurants limited to takeout orders could return to limited dining and services. As of Wednesday, however, Georgia has 836 deaths due to the coronavirus, 84 of which were reported in Atlanta's Fulton County, according to Georgia's Department of Public Health. Nobel Prize-winning economist Joseph Stiglitz is ripping the Trump administration's response to the coronavirus pandemic, cautioning that the U.S. could be headed towards the second Great Depression as a result. The numbers turning to food banks are just enormous and beyond the capacity of them to supply. Stiglitz told The Guardian in an interview that it is like a third world country. The public society safety net is not working. He added, the inequality in the U.S. is so large, this disease has targeted those with the poorest health. In the advanced world, the U.S. is one of the countries with the poorest health overall and the greatest health inequalities. Stigler is a longtime critic of the president, said that 14% of Americans rely on food stamps, and that's due to the country's social infrastructure and unemployment rate, which has already ballooned during the pandemic and could hit 30%. General Terrence O'Shaughnessy, the U.S. Air Force general in charge of both the U.S. Northern Command and the North American Aerospace Defense Command, warned that Russia is looking for signs of weakness in the U.S. air defenses amidst the coronavirus pandemic. O'Shaughnessy shared his warning during a Pentagon press briefing on Tuesday and pointed to several recent incidences between the U.S. and Russian aircrafts as an example of the kind of Russian behavior NORAD is monitoring and working to counteract. On April 8th, an incident saw NORAD dispatch an F-22 fighter to intercept a pair of Russian reconnaissance planes after they were observed flying over the Barents Sea and entering into Alaskan Air Defense Identification Zone. We wanted to make it clear, which we did by the way we intercepted them, that there is no vulnerability with the result of the COVID-19. O'Shaughnessy said that the incident, we are postured and maintain the responsibility and the ability to respond at a moment's notice. O'Shaughnessy noted Russians' probing attempts are not a new concern, but one that has seen a spike in public concern due to the high number of high-profile encounters in recent weeks. He said that there hasn't necessarily been a spike in the Russian probing attempts simply due to the U.S. military's concern shifting towards dealing with the coronavirus pandemic. The abrupt ouster of the top vaccine expert at HHS has split officials who see it either as a boon in the national COVID-19 response or the latest indication of a dysfunctional health department. Ric Bright, the director of the Biochemical Advanced Research and Development Authority, has transferred to a new and more narrow role at the National Institutes of Health this week. An HHS spokesperson confirmed the move was more than a year in the making. Bright has clashed with the department leaders about his decisions and the scope of his authority, but came abruptly just 5 current and former HHS officials. One person familiar with the situation says that Bright was frozen out of his emails and learned about the reassignment only when his name was removed from the BARDA website this week. As of Tuesday, Bright had not accepted the reassignment at the NIH, where he was tapped on efforts to deploy a point of care of the COVID-19 testing. Gary Disbrow, the former deputy, is now the BARDA's acting leader. Bright told the New York Times on Wednesday that he believed his removal was because of his internal opposition to pursuing investments in malaria drugs as a potential treatment for the COVID-19, which President Donald Trump has touted without scientific evidence. Mass testing at a state prison in Ohio has provided more evidence of just how quickly and easily the coronavirus can spread in a correctional facility. Over 1,800 people, or 73% of all inmates, have tested positive for the COVID-19 at the Marion Correctional Institute in Marion County, Ohio, according to the Ohio Department of the Rehabilitation and Correctional Facilities. At least 2,400 inmates across Ohio State's prison facilities have received positive diagnosis of the COVID-19 since Ohio's Department of Rehabilitation and Correction began testing on the 11th of April, including large numbers of state Pickaway correctional institutions and the Franklin Medical Center. As of April 22nd, incarcerated people make up 20% of the state's entire coronavirus cases. 12 inmates have died. A little more than a week after endorsing Republican President Donald Trump for re-election, Democratic Representative Vernon Jones announced on Wednesday that he will not be completing his term, triggering a special election. "Turn the lights off. I have left the plantation," the controversial ex-DeKalb County CEO said in a statement. Jones said that he is not switching political parties, but would like to work with Trump's re-election campaign. "I don't plan to leave the Democratic Party," he said, "because somebody's got to be there to hold them accountable to how they are treating black people and root out the bigotry," Jones said. After a fiery and at times combative discussion, Jones ended the radio interview early, promoting Richie to say, "Hang up on that clown, please." What exactly happens next for this District House 2091, is unclear. Jones was expected to formally submit his resignation on Wednesday, as well as his withdrawal as a candidate for the June primary. Jones was prepared for a Democratic primary rematch against Rolanda Taylor, a legal service staffer from Conyers, whom he defeated in 2016. There is no Republican on the ballot, making Taylor the presumptuous representative in January. Once again, thank you for watching CCN Midday News. Hope you enjoy. Please like, share, and subscribe. Also hit that notification button so you will never miss another news update. Have a great day. Peace.